Hello guys, welcome back to my channel on this Thursday. Today, in the description, we're talking about definition words pretty much that we use in our everyday writing as writers. Video yesterday on some term words, basically, I didn't understand or I got confused what protagonist, if I said that right, means. Basically, it means the leading character or one of the major characters in a drama, movie, novel, or other text. And on my allportrait.com, my site where I do a lot of my work, writing in pieces, I see people use certain term words and I don't understand it. So when they're commenting on my piece and I'm like, well, what does this word means? So I have to go back and look it up. I myself, I've been a writer for years, but never actually got my stuff published and sold out to the world. I'm working on that. And it's going to take time. I'm going to twist this over here a little bit. The next thing, the word is called, and you notice these words, a lot of them are nouns, some are verbs. This is a noun. Protagonist is a noun. Antagonist is a noun. It's a person who actively opposes or is hostile to someone or something, and adversary of that. Then you got fiction. I used all the time, you all, even in school, before we had to do book reports and things like that, I'd get mixed up between fiction and nonfiction. Now I have it right. Fiction is something you make up when you write about it. It's not true. It's not fact. And we'll get to nonfiction in a minute. Fiction, the definition of fiction is literature in form of prose, especially short stories, novels that describes imagery, events, and people. It's people you make up with events happening. Nonfiction is a true event. It's a prose writing that is based on facts. Facts means true. Okay. It's based on like a true story, your biography or whatever. Okay. It's listed from 1 through 7 on here, but I got more in my journal. We'll go over them in a minute. So 1 is protagonist, 2 is antagonist, 3 is fiction, number 4 was discussing the term nonfiction. Number 5, I had trouble knowing what the prose meant. Like when you're doing a prose in a certain sentence. Prose is basically a written or spoken language. Okay? It's a written spoken language in its ordinary form without metrical structure. I was confused on knowing what metrical structure is. If you don't know, you have to go Google it or go look it up in a dictionary. It's easier for me to Google it. So let's look up for a second metrical structure. That's a new word to me. It speaks out to where I want to know the definition of it. So I go up here and I speak it under the assistant, Google. What does metrical structure mean?
According to Wiktionary, metrical structure, the pattern of the beats in a piece of music, which includes meter, tempo, and all other rhythmic aspects. The pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables in a poem.
So basically, it's the pattern of the beats in a piece of music, or if you're doing it in a writer's way, it's a pattern of stress and unstressed syllables in a poem. That's what metrical structure means, even though I don't have it written out on that one. That was number 5. Number 6, abstract. Do you all know what abstract means? It's a brief summary of an article, a standard part of most academic writing. Again, abstract is a brief summary of an article, a standard part of most academic writing. Number 7, active voice. Do you know what an active voice is? These are some of the words I know I used them back in the day when I was in school, but you realize how many years ago it's been since I've been in school? And learning and the curriculum, everything changes all the time, every year. The people and students in this day and time generation, they learn different from the way that we all learned in our generation. Okay, that was number 6, abstract. Number 7, active voice. Do you know what an active voice is or means? It's when the verb focuses on what the subject of the sentence is doing. It's basically telling the main idea of what that verb or that sentence is doing. That's what active voice means. So that's 1 through 7 right there. That's one of the most termed words you see all the time. When people are giving you feedbacks of your story or your book or your essay, anything that they're giving feedback, commenting on. These are the words that you need to know. Sometimes I write words from out of this list and don't realize it after I done wrote the piece out. So yeah, it can get confusing. It can get frustrating. Writing is frustrating. It's a passion, but it can be so draining. It can make you frustrated. And now we're going to look at some more because it wouldn't all fit on my eraser board. So I had to write some more here. You see, a lot of my videos, I talk about things I record in this journal. Goals, definition words of terms. I record of my brand description before I go live streaming here. Blueprints that I draw out, my own little diagram blueprints. They're not the best in the world. It's just a whole lot of different things to cover. And a lot of times in your videos, you don't cover it all. You have to break it down or do another video to actually cover it all. Okay, that's where we stopped that abstract. Active voice. The next one is advance. If you are lucky enough to be in demand by a publisher, you might be part of an advance to write your book prior to actually writing it. That's what the advance is. All rights is the publisher holds all rights to publish in any form but does not own the copyright. That's what all rights is. Whoever writes their piece is the author of their own work. Then you got allegory. It's a method of telling a story using characters or objects to deliver a message metaphorically. The anthology is a collection of stories compiled together. It's a whole bunch of stories together, basically, usually within a loose theme or commonality. So, that's basically 12 term words that I just read total. Like I said, I had to finish writing them out in here because it wasn't enough room. I'll eventually buy another eraser board and just put them side to side. That way you can add extra stuff when you need to. Okay, I'm going to try to fit this other one in. It's like 2 different contents I'm going to do in one video if I have time. So far, let's see here. I've been viewing about 9 minutes and 56 seconds. Now we're going to talk about This is term words. How to commas, where to put your punctuation in the right place. That is my weak point, you all. So give me a little bit of credit for at least trying. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I get stuck on certain words. I put the commas in the wrong place. Sometimes I mess up my capitalization. That happens. There's not a perfect writer out there. Even if you already done got a book published and they approved it, it went on through, you still gonna make mistakes on it, because in order to do better, you have to what? You have to make mistakes on certain things. So, yeah, you don't want to rush through anything you're writing. You want to take your time and take your notes. Now we're going to talk about how to commas. It probably don't make sense the way I said that, but that's the way I'm going to list it. How to commas, and we're going to do sample sentences with it. I'm going to write this part big. How to, and of course the punctuation, all that follows through the word commas. Number one, you use commas to separate words and word. Sometimes I can't read my writing here. Words and word, I guess, apart or something. Commas indicate indicates a pause in a simple sentence of three or more items. For example, I'm going to write example sentence here. So just give me a few minutes. Just an example. Okay, I might have to hold it in my hands. It's kind of hard to write up there. My estate goes to my, this is just a sample sentence, my husband. And it's got comma there, a comma after son, daughter, in-law, comma, and nephew. So my estate goes to my husband, comma, son, comma, daughter, in-law, comma, and nephew. And you put a what? The period at the end. That's how you write an example to where to put your commas in that example sentence. Note, when the last comma in a series comes before and or after daughter-in-law in the above example, it is known as the Oxford comma. I've never heard of the term Oxford comma. And if I had, it's been so long, I had to refresh my memory on it. I'm 46 years old. I've graduated in 92. So you figure from 92 to now, that's been a good many years since I've been out of school, been graduated. So time to time, you have to go back and refresh your memory. So that's called basically an Oxford comma. So yeah, that is an example sentence on how to write a sample sentence using your comma. But in this illustration example, it's labeled as Oxford comma, if that makes sense to you all. Okay, now let's go on down a little bit. Example, this is an Oxford comma. We had coffee, cheese, and crackers and grapes. We had coffee, you put the comma after coffee, cheese, and crackers and grapes. And you know you put the period always at the end of your sentence. You capitalize always a name, a place, always at the beginning. Stuff like that. You get to know where to capitalize, where to put your commas and semicolons and stuff like that. Okay, we're going to flip over. I didn't write that now because I just read that example out of the Oxford comma. The rule number 2: use a comma to separate two adjectives when the order of the adjectives is when it's interchangeable. For example, he is strong. He is strong, comma, healthy man, period. We could also say healthy, comma, strong man, period. Number 2 example. We stayed at an expensive summer resort, period. We would not say summer expensive resort, so no comma. That means that the second example doesn't make sense. You didn't have to use a comma there. On the first one, you had to use commas in it. So if that makes sense. Rule number 3: incorrect. It shows you an example what's incorrect about this example sentence. He walked all the way home. He shut the door, period. Correct. He walked all the way home, period, and he shut the door, period. That's correct. The first one I just read was incorrect. So you see the difference in that? So it's important to learn your term words so it helps you out how you write your story or whatever you're doing on that. So that gives you an idea how to write examples of where the commas go, what's incorrect and what's not. We also discussed some term words that I wasn't familiar with myself. Took the notes, took the time to Google it and look it up. A lot of people carry around dictionaries and all that. Well, you got the internet. The internet's grown and it's gotten so well advanced, all you have to do is Google it. It's just as easy. So my choice is to Google it. If I'm sitting in the library or going to college, of course, I need my tools will be my writing tools and my dictionary and my thesaurus. But when I'm at home and doing my videos or doing my pieces, my writing projects, I go through Google. It works just way faster and easier for me. So I hope you all like this so far about learning certain definition of words when you're writing, and to where I did an example of how to correct and figure out where certain punctuation like commas go. So it takes time when you write. And I don't care who you are, there's not a perfect writer out there. Every one of you writers that made it has actually got a book completely finished and published and been rejected so many times and finally made it through and completed your dream. You're still going to mess up as a writer because we're human. We're constantly learning different writing strategies every day till something changes. I could have wrote how to commas and all of a sudden might want to change it out and put how to correct your commas within your writing. You can just play around and come up with different how-to tutorial different contents on what you're writing about. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this Thursday morning video. It's 9:44 a.m. on my time. On my time is sunshine, nice weather. Folks, the temperature's going to drop again this weekend. It's going to drop down to 50, so pay attention to your weather. Try not to get sick. If you dress right for the weather, you don't drink after people, you keep your hands washed every day and properly. That will help keep the germs down and help people from spreading germs and getting sick. There's been a lot of people with flu. People's died from it. But just stay safe all and have a great day. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it so far, give me the thumbs up. Any questions? No rude comments. If you're not a writer, if you're not into writing, this video is not for you. But I still would like you to view it, show you support, and if you like it, give me the thumbs up and subscribe my channel. Thanks all. Bye.